Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, January 31st, 2022. We'll be having a TFCC call this Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, and a Reverse Aging Health call this Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern on this line. All of us are already, always have been, always will be, ever beyond and forever, connected to the infinite. The truth is that our souls always were and will always be forever intimately and infinitely connected to the most loving, all-powerful, super-intelligent, divine source of love and endless creativity. Any thought that makes you feel less than this or separate from the universe is simply a lie. It is misinformation and an over-identification of ridiculous array of thoughts flying through the mind. Real true satisfaction in life is easy. It's found through realizing this simple truth that you are always connected to the divine. You can't, you're part of it. You can't be disconnected. The infinite universe is all around us right now. This universe and all the extensions and the great cosmic healing energy found inside of it is always available for each and every one of us to access right in the now. It's also very easy. The experience of connection is effortlessly found by relaxing deeply and resting within. Get ready to totally call off the search for a bigger and better, more amazing connection. Look inside. It's already here now. Your spiritual being has already arrived. A man who knows the divine has a sense of humor. A man who knows the divine has a sense of humor. If you meet someone who has no sense of humor, you can be certain that he is a pretender. Knowing the divine brings sincerity, and all seriousness disappears. Knowing brings a playfulness. Knowing brings a sense of humor. And a sense of humor is a must. Let this always be remembered also. Seriousness is a dis-ease to the soul. It is a dis-ease to the soul. You ever notice that our level of suffering is directly related to how serious our attitudes are about this life? The more serious we are about things, the harder our life becomes. So why do we continue being serious? What's the purpose of being serious about anything? Do you think you'll reach enlightenment faster by being serious? Do you honestly believe you will attain your ego's desires with more joy? And effortless ease if you're super serious about them? Seriousness is a contracted, controlling, egoic energy which blocks us from being relaxed, happy, and able to manifest our desires effortlessly. Our energy becomes like a tight fist, which makes it hard to let abundance in. Seriousness comes from an over-controlling ego that is addicted to desire. It's serious because it just doesn't know how to manifest with joy and effortless ease. It has to control everything, have a tight agenda, make sure every tiny step along the way is successful. It's forgotten that real success in this life is being in love each moment along the way. Now, you can have a deep, sincere life, having real honesty, integrity, and not get caught in the trap of seriousness at all. The first step begins with noticing the difference between when you are being serious and when you're being sincere. That's the first step, with noticing the difference between when you are being serious and when you are being sincere. You can feel this subtle difference in your chest and body. Your heart, chest will feel more lightness with sincerity and feel heavy and controlled with seriousness. When we are serious, we are coming from our ego mind head. And when we are being sincere, we are coming from the heart and soul. When we look underneath the energy of seriousness, we see that the ego is there, deeply attached to some future outcome. When you look under the energy of sincerity, it has an even deeper quality to it, one that is coming from love, being patient, kind, light, non-attached. Seriousness is a very goal-oriented and ready to fight for the ego's survival at any moment. Sincerity is more loving, conscious, and living beyond the material world on the spiritual path. The first step to transcending the ego's serious game is making the commitment to shifting our perspective. We must choose to be willing to see each circumstance from a larger, more calming viewpoint that realizes we are eternal beings on an infinite journey. We must choose to always be discovering our true, infinite, divine natures. If we're ever to be completely free from seriousness, this means that no matter what happens to any of us in our lives, whatever we decide to do or don't do, everything is going to be okay. We must choose to realize this deeply and intimately and know that we are eternal souls, an unbounded consciousness whose real nature is as wild and free as pure starlight. It is a huge opportunity in this lifetime to stop being serious. It's an opportunity to stop being serious and start having fun. Start with realizing that you are not just this body, nor this mind, nor any of the thoughts that you'll be thinking today. All these thoughts that you think are so important are not going to be important at all 10 minutes before you die. Just stop worrying about things, really, and just focus on knowing the spiritual being you truly are. Experience the divine, sweet, undying essence of who you are in each circumstance and in each situation you get into. We must choose to live the experience of this truth if we're truly going to seriously stop suffering completely. Otherwise, the needy, demanding ego would just take us down over and over and over again, down the road of being serious about everything and anything again and again and again. The ego is very serious about its job, and it cannot give up until you realize the truth of who you are. We know that we cannot own, capture, or collect anything of this material world. Everything is borrowed, even these bodies we're in. Our souls are the only thing we bring with us on this infinite journey. If we could bring everything, where would we put it all? One day, we will leave these bodies behind unless we ascend. And the only thing we can take with us is our consciousness. How much time do you spend being conscious? And how much time are you in your mind? Being serious is a mind game, and it only narrows our experience of consciousness. It is impossible to achieve a deeper level of enlightenment, peace, joy, love, or fulfillment in this life by being serious about it. The only time you reach success, any of us, is when we get so tired of being serious that we relax. Then the mind and heart begin to open. We expand our thinking and raise our vibration high enough to enter a state of appreciation, joy, and love. Raising our energy into love simply happens all by itself. When we realize the truth of who we are, that we are an infinite eternal beings, all one, at one, with the very God source itself. This life is not serious. Life is love. Life is laughter. Life is a dance. Laughter in its purest form is a dance of all of our energies. Laughter is one of the most evolved phenomena in human life. No other animal can laugh. It is only man. It is only man who can laugh also. Perhaps you're wondering how to approach life's painfully serious situations, such as you or a loved one is facing a terminal illness, or you have to go through a divorce, foreclosure, bankruptcy, or perhaps even contemplating suicide. Life is divine chaotic organization, which makes it both easy and challenging. We each came here to go through some very intense emotional experiences, which push us deeper inside ourselves. This is the only way we will get beyond our busy ego mind and its need to control every aspect of this life. Painful, heart-wrenching emotional experiences force us to become extremely connected to our spiritual paths and eventually reach the God source within each and every one of us. Our pain is meant to break the ego open, to open our hearts so that our minds follow along and open to the divine. The pain is meant to make us dig deep down into ourselves, creating roots in our being so that we can get grounded in God. And the best way to deal with these serious emotional times is to go with them, into them, through them, until we are out the other side. In fact, that's the only way. This inner journey requires that we trust in this divine loving source. Know it is always here, encouraging us to breathe, relax, and remember that we are lovable. They say that which doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. What they didn't tell you is the death is what makes life so juicy and alive. Endings are always new beginnings. There is a divine reason behind every experience that we have throughout our lives. If we can take this more enlightened approach, when we can take this more enlightened approach to this life, we will find the lightness around our hearts becoming 10 times brighter the week after you've made it through the darkest night of the soul. If your mind is seriously addicted to drama and you cannot find any way out, start practicing the attitude of gratitude. What are you truly thankful for? Really? Make a list and check it twice. Think about these ideas all day long. Eventually, this exercise will liberate you from the seriousness disease. Once we start living in appreciation mode, the mind naturally wants to focus on what we are thankful for in each moment. Then the seriousness disease has to leave our lives. The heart opens huge with gratitude. And the over-analyzing, critical, worrying ego takes a long-needed vacation. The best advice I could give you is whenever you can, be non-serious. Be light, playful. Laugh as often as you can. Let everyone else pretend that life is serious. Yet do not walk into the gallows with them. Be sincere in who you are. Yet don't be serious about what you find. Everything comes and goes. Everything. And when it comes down to it, real integrity in this life is only between you and God. It has nothing to do with your ego or others' opinions of your ego. The ego is a lot like a shadow, something that is lacking true lightness. It's basically a figment of our imaginations. So why buy into its serious love affair? When we weave a more light-hearted approach into our daily adventures, we will start discovering the secret to really enjoying our lives is so very simple. It really is. Every person you know who is unhappy, who is addicted to seriousness, they are also deeply trapped in their ego minds. They are resisting, denying, suppressing, or addicted to the darkness, pain they are in. And yes, people do get addicted to the darkness and pain that they're in. And so they are constantly attempting to get somewhere better instead of resting with the pain, giving it love, and being with what is. Serious people have forgotten how to trust this life. And that is this very moment is the only place where the God source can be experienced. Once this source is made more important than the ego trip, the most ecstatic, blissful, divine experience of life will find you. The most fun-loving, healing, juicy energy is available in this very moment and will enter us instantly when we drop all seriousness from our minds and future completely. Discovering God is the goal of our lives. Discovering God is the goal of our lives. The God source, the kingdom of God, the heaven, within each and every one of us, that of which we are. It is why we are here, having to live our lives. Once the mind surrenders to this real goal and truth, then we have a chance to be free. Knowing God is laughter, lightness, and freedom. As long as seriousness is there, the God source is pushed onto the back burner. And we've just delayed our experience of real bliss. One day, the mind has to give up. It has to surrender to trust and see the bigger picture in each new moment. We don't have to give up our serious attitude completely to find total ecstasy. You get to. You don't have to. You get to. Discovering this attitude is the essential secret to transforming heavy seriousness into enlightened sincerity and having all suffering instantly disappear. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted, and I'm sure we all are. And the first thing that we care to do is relax our bodies, head to toe, inside and out. This is so crucial. Always relaxing the body is the first step. How do you do it? Is there a special instructional for that? No. You focus on your breath. Always the breath. The breath is the now. Space between breath is the now. The breath frees us, focuses us, eases us, relaxes us. And the breath is divine positive energy. Why is that? We enter these bodies, we power up these bodies sustain the gods that we are within them, so that we can experience the physical life and rediscover who and what we are within these bodies. And the breath sustains the very body you're in right now. And without the breath, you'd have to leave that body. So it is divine positive energy. And every time you focus on it, and it's just easy. Easy breath in through the nose. Easy breath out through the mouth. By doing this, you move yourself into the now, because the breath is the now. It's not tomorrow. You ever hear, I'm going to take my breath tomorrow, or my breath yesterday? It's only in the now. And when we do this, the body naturally lets go, because you stop interacting with the ego mind and subconscious mind. You still them, and you watch them from outside of them. You don't judge them. You watch them. It's the only way any of us are going to learn how to master them. Now, I don't think any one of us cares to have 30,000 lifetimes in order to get this right. We've already had those. You'll feel the body relax when you are in the now and you focus on your breath. The body reciprocates. And then a lot of the things, the mind chatter, we all have it, 24/7. It's relentless. Gone. And in the now, we aren't worrying. We aren't stressing. We aren't fearing. Because we're just in the now. We're not thinking about tomorrow. We're not thinking about yesterday. We're only in the now, moment to moment. The space between heartbeats. This is the true secret to enlightenment. Being in the now. Now, we've all experienced this as well. We have tens of millions of thoughts that fly by us like clouds in the sky. And the interesting thing, these aren't our thoughts. They're everyone else's, not only in this generation, but forever. Thoughts are always circulating in this planet from 1,000 years ago, 1,000,000 years ago. They're programs. And you see how twisted we can get, discombobulated, because of the fact that we get seduced. We're in the now, and one of these thoughts, like how we grab onto these thoughts. And they're tricky because they seem to have our names attached to them, even though we know we're not the name. And when that happens, this must be my thought. So the subconscious mind says, well, grab onto that. And then we take it. Remember, it's just a thought, right? We take it. We move it into form. We energize it. We create it into reality, and we experience it. And a lot of the times, this is why we're so uncomfortable with our thoughts, because they're not our thoughts. But a lot of the times, we create them into our thought, and we act them out. So why a lot of us feel not too comfortable at times, and we don't know why. That's why. Not only that, we've got over 60,000 every day of our own thoughts. Remember, your thoughts go out. You send those thoughts out to the universe. When something comes in, that is not your thought. That is someone else's. It was either here, it was here, or is here in the current moment. So it's important to always be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with oneself, with yourself. And to be the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Gratitude. No matter what's going on around us. You could be angry, frustrated, fearful, stressed, depressed. Switch to being in deep gratitude for anything. There's a plethora of things that we can always be grateful for in this very moment. So when we do grab onto one of these thoughts, we'll recognize it. And we'll say, that's not my thought. I'm not in the now. I'm going to focus on my breath, and I'll be in the now 3,000% of the time. It's practice. It's not difficult to practice it. And eventually it becomes automatic. You know, when we look at these bodies, we know we're not the body. Inside we see these 7 lights from the tailbone to the top of the head. Now, on this planet, these lights are called chakras. Definition of chakra is wheel. Wheels of light. Now, these lights are nothing like you'd see on this planet. They're much more vibrant, deep, and colorful. What are they? They're spiritual etheric energy. What are we, the gods? Spiritual etheric energy. Omnipotently powerful. We flow through these wheels of light. Which means we're connected to everything in these bodies. In them, above them, below them, on them. Every organ. Every emotion. Everything. Down to the quantum quark. And as we go in and not out, and we literally go deeper and deeper within ourselves to meet the God that we are within, we will then discover that we'll be able to heal these bodies we're in a blink of the eye, no matter what's going on with them. Picture yourself standing in front of 3 golden circles. You'll notice that the path ahead of these golden circles is quite spectacular. You see these trees have formed canopies over these 3 paths. Canopies are the trees. And they're all gold, the leaves, the bark, everything, the branches, shimmering. The path itself is a vibrant, bright, emerald green, flaming grass. Now, they all look the same. But you do notice a difference. The one on the left, the past, is very worn. The one on the right, the future, is very worn. The one in the center, the now, looks like it's brand new. Now, we all reminisce. We have thoughts. We review them. We have our own private library with our subconscious mind. And we visit. Not long. We'll open the door, turn on the light, get in an easy chair, take some movies of those experiences and some books and reminisce. Wasn't that fun? That was so fun. I really enjoyed that. Oh, that wasn't that fun. I won't be doing that again. And then we leave. We put everything away, turn off the light and shut the door. And we move forward. We're always moving forward in this life. Always. Some of us, though, and I don't believe that it is conscious, I believe it's unconscious, we'll stay there so long in that easy chair that we'll end up taking that past into a future that doesn't exist, creating that future out of that past and reliving that past and that future. That's why a lot of people will say no matter what we do, we always end up here. And you know, we'll go into the future. It doesn't exist because we're creating the future in the now. Isn't that ironic? But we still go into the future because we want to know from external authorities, when are we going to have something? When are we going to get something? When are we going to have or meet our lifelong romantic partner? When are we going to get a new job, a raise? When are we going to be able to buy the house or the car or all of these things? And a lot of times we rely on other people to tell us what's going to happen with us. External authority. When all along, all the questions and all the answers to those questions are within each and every one of us. We are not lacking anything. We are fully equipped. And you know what? The ego mind will not go in the now. Okay? Because it knows if it does, it won't be needed anymore. So it's doing everything overtime to keep all of us from being in the now. Now we know that these souls, the God source, the God in these bodies, is heaven. Heaven isn't a place. Heaven is you, the God that you are. The kingdom of God. So the body is earth. So we're heaven on earth. We're consciously aware. Consciously aware means that we know that we are of and from the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love. And we know that every step we take on this planet, literally, in higher vibrational frequency, we are creating paradise. Not only that, we're shining our God force love light energy everywhere. 360 degrees, saturating, soaking, permeating everything on, in, above, and below this planet Earth guy are in this now. And it doesn't matter if you're awake or asleep, because you're still shining the light. Try it. I mean, it's phenomenal. You're in a crowd of people, you're walking a store, wherever. You direct your light. I'm going to flood my light. I'm going to blast everybody in this place with my God, my love light energy. Through heart mind. Now, some of us will discover when we leave, when we decide to leave these bodies, that we're the light. Where does the light come from? Love. What is love? You are. We all are. We're made from it. We're of it. So does it make sense that if another light shows up, he's bugging you to enter it? That's a trap. That's the trap. Then the whole thing starts over again. The next thing you know, you're in a baby body. And you barely have memory of where you came from before the baby body. And as time goes by, you totally forget. Then you're in amnesia again. Remember, you are the light. That's why the space is sacred out there. Because you flow through the sacredness of space. All of us do. Now, if you took a starship off this planet out far enough to see the entire globe, you would see that it glowed. You remember, we've had 8 billion gods glowing, and then all of the other gods housed in all of the other forms, physical forms. Massive. So doesn't it make sense that when you see the lights around this planet and this universe, they're compared to a candle in darkness. Dim, dim, dim. Now, we all know that we have parts of ourselves, the gods that we are, that are asleep. Now, they're not going to wake up until they choose. But they're still part of us. And we love them just as much as the parts of us that are awake. But the ones that are awake is where we're interacting. Consciously aware. It doesn't matter if we're 1,000 billion light years away, we're still one. That's just the illusion. This is all the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. This is archangels, cherubim, seraphim archetypes, ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Morya, Abundantia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua, all the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, and beneath earth. All of our loved ones who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. All the off-worlders, galactics, and celestials. We're all in the gigaplexes. One gigaplex fills this entire universe with not even 1 square inch of sacred space to spare. These are trillions of gigaplexes from trillions of universes. Now, the archangels, their civilization have vibrated at a different frequency than we do. So therefore, if we go into a crowd or where a lot of people are, we don't see them like we see each other. But I can guarantee you there are some within that crowd Now, when we do meet with one or more, it's not necessarily do we recognize it in the actual interaction, conversation, whatever it may be. It's usually after it dawns on us, wait a minute, that just feels different. That must have been an angel. And when you do that, you acknowledge the fact and you experience bliss. Now, they all have the same message. They deliver it in many different ways. They have for eons. And it comes down to understanding that the message is, isn't it absolutely magna-glorious to be alive in these bodies? Because most of us don't even know, in fact, the majority, what it's like not to be in body, not to experience physical form, to just be the spiritual etherical energy, the bowl of light God energy. We don't eat, we don't sleep, we don't drink water, we don't taste, we don't hug, we don't make love, we don't kiss, we don't laugh, we don't cry. All the things that we have become so accustomed to and take so much for granted. You see why these bodies are so seducing for us as gods, because when we get into them, we lose ourselves. And we get consumed by the material physical world, of which we designed to entertain us, not consume us. Now, they can surround any one of us at any one time in the tens of thousands or tens of millions. Because of their vibrational frequency, they can hold a large number in a small area. And if you want to ask them, and they'll be there in a blink of the eye, and you'll be in bliss. Now, light energy beings, because of the eyes that we have with these bodies, we only see 1% of what is. So we don't see the red, the infrared, the violet, the ultraviolet, the different light spectrums of these beings. They come in shapes, colors, sizes, forms, configurations that pass us by. But there is a small group that we actually, part of that group, we interact with on a daily basis. Fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, mermaid, dolphin, whale, pegasus, unicorn, centaur, and minotaur. Confirming that with ourselves. Can these bodies sustain us without air? No. Water, fire, earth, ether, wood. No. We would have to leave them. In fact, we couldn't enter them if they didn't have that. Yes, we power them up, but you can see how these bodies are dependent on the magics, the elementals. Now, the off-worlders, celestials, galactics, over 1,000 species, civilizations travel through their solar system every day. Trillions throughout the universes every day. But there is a small group that we're familiar with. Pleiadians, Sirians, Arcturians, Andromedans, felines, Zeta Reticuli, Anunnaki, Nords, Greys, Draco, Reptilian, Golden Pyramid Avian. This particular group has been assisting us in our evolution, enlightenment, ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. Now, the Ascended Masters, they've ascended into physical form, have mastered physical form, have ascended out of physical form, and hold pure consciousness God form. We have ascended into physical form. We're in the process of mastering the physical form. We are creating our experiences to perfect our creations. Now, we're all gathered, so to speak, arm in arm, hand in hand, consciously aware, in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And all of us are one. And all of us are God. And all of us are love. And our God, force, love, light, energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Continues to intensify, grow, and expand. Immediately form a white fire circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. Where does this light emanate from? The kingdom of God, the God source, within each and every single one of us. What is it? It is pure, deep, eternal love, the highest of the highest high frequencies. And it is flooding this planet, saturating it, permeating it. On it, in it, above it, and below it. This is infinity and beyond. It doesn't stop. We begin to ascend above the planet, and we immediately come into contact with this massive ocean of glitter. It isn't like you would think on this planet. It's much different, much more spectacular. A massive grand fireworks display, which we've never been able to do here on this planet, a massive laser light show display, a ballroom mirrored globe reflecting light. But this one's a trillion times larger, a trillion times more intense. Combining all of those, all of them, comes close to the ocean of glitter. Now we're curious, so we go to the reflective points. We discover these little tiny microscopic mirrors, perfectly etched, that we enter. And then we discover that all of us, no matter what physical form we are in, are teaching, learning, teaching from each other, from ourselves as well. And that means that everything this planet is, the tree isn't life. The God that enters the tree, that gives the tree life, it's the same with a dog or a cat, a mouse or a squirrel, a bug in the rug, a fly on the wall. That life is God. Without God, there is no life. We're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that the gods within these bodies are the power of healing. Then we're met with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that the gods that we are in these bodies of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We are then met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that from head to toe, inside and out, we are protected with a white fire armor, nothing like the armor on this planet, way beyond that. This white fire armor emanates from the God source, the God, the soul, higher self, the spirit, all facets of the one. And it's pure, deep, eternal love, highest of the highest, high frequency. So the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies can't come near us. Just they can't. And if they do, they're vaporized. So they stay away. There's no penetration, there's no seduction, there's no weakening of this white fire armor. So therefore, no demon attachment, no possession, no lower dark matter, survival matter frequency happening. Ever, ever, ever. But only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough, consciously or unconsciously, through hatred, greed, anger, fear, worry, stress, envy, revenge, hurriedness, greed, dishonesty, you will create a breach in your white fire armor, enough so to allow lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. Then, demon possession, attachment, all kinds of happenings with lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies are possible. Now, if you do decide to do this, you're immediately met with a double column of light. We created this double column of light. First part of it is purple transmuting flame. We created this part of the column of light to remind us all that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all of these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness where they are no more. We are then met with the second half, the violet ray of this column of light. We created this column of light to remind us all that we can bring it in, we can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony to the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all, the gods that we are in these bodies, that we are the sun, the sunlight, the rain, the rainbows, the sun sets and the sun rises, the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams, the trees and the forest, the soils, the animals, the sky, the clouds, the mountains. We're everything. Everything is us. So the next time you see a sunset or a sunrise, rainbow, snowfall, ocean front, most of us will go, isn't that beautiful? Mind. But from the heart mind, next time you view something like this, that is the God that I am. That is the God that I am. A whole different experience. One that will vibrate very true with your heart mind. We continue to ascend above the planet. As we do, Some of us step outside our physical form and hover effortlessly above it, if we're carrying physical form. Reason we do this because it's fun and we can. We come into full contact with this massive crystalline light tower, larger than the solar system and beyond. This crystalline tower, in the center of it, we see this massive oblong sphere. Center of the sphere is this golden white bowl of light. It is surrounded by numerous rings of multicolored light that seem to never end. Combined, it creates this super bright, white, misty cloud, sparkling. You can see arcs of electrics in it. It's magnificent. And it's absorbed through our heart minds, and it feels like a warm embrace that never ends. Now, the golden white bowl of light is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Then comes well-being. Gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness. Gratitude. Bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, tremendous prosperity, and tremendous abundance. And we discover that all of that is a reflection of the gods that we are in these bodies. At the top, we designed it so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees, infinity and beyond. This is the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, and purest of the purest purest, eternal love. And it's flooding this planet, saturating it, permeating it. All life, the highest supreme value in the universes, and a complete liberation, shift of the vibrational frequencies of fifth density that cannot be stopped. We are drops of this golden ocean. We also hold the essence of this golden ocean. Drops are the golden ocean. Golden ocean is the drops. And the only illusion is separation. We see our meditative sphere at set center circle. We all created this sphere almost 4 years ago. It holds over 1,800 of our meditations in perpetual motion. They don't fade. They don't weaken. They intensify, strengthen, grow, expand. And they're flooding this planet head to toe, inside and out. Eternity, infinity, and beyond. Now you can tap in to those meditations. All of us gathered, consciously aware, hundreds of millions on and off world. Look at something in nature as if it were for the very first time. Maybe a tree, a bug, rock, flower, whatever it is. Just gaze into it and through it. This will help you see the purpose of life. As you stare into the flower or tree, open your eyes and your being to experience something of the beyond. Receive the pure nature into your being. Gaze into it for long enough time until you let it fully merge into you. I'll join you in the meditation. Return to close us out. Take an easy breath in through the nose and an easy breath out through the mouth. Move easily and slowly. Deep inside your being is a powerful awareness that is very awake, present, and aligned with the isness. For today, sink into and surrender to that which is already present, always listening, always watching, and always aware. It is an experiencing. Allow your awareness to guide you through whatever experiences you have in your body and mind. Trust that it is all you will ever need. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We'll return here Tuesday, February 1st, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call.